Tonight, the Devils take on the Montreal Canadiens. Back here at the Meadowlands, there'll be a full house tonight, and for the Devils, it's a chance to increase the lead in the Patrick division. The Islanders are now tied for second with the Philadelphia Flyers.
That has to be the story of hockey the first half of the season. The New York Islanders, the way they played, 10-1 their last 11 games with the Devils. The 11th day now, they've been in first place. They're 4 games ahead. A good weekend right now, and they could be in first place right through the All-Star game.
And they've got a chance to go 4 for 5 at home. This is the 5th game of 5 in a row here at the Meadowlands. That's a vast improvement on the first of the year.
Well, they've got 8 wins in their last 10 home games, and I really felt that game against Pittsburgh. The last game they won 6-3 was a very pivotal game. They came out, they're playing against Mary Lemieux. Pittsburgh was playing well, and they dominated that game.
For the Montreal Canadiens, we'll tell you about all the injuries they have. One that they don't have, and it puts even more pressure on him, is their leading scorer.
And one of the things they said about Stéphane Richer this year is he has not even had a bad period. You look at his statistics. 2 seasons ago, he had 50 goals. Last year, it dropped to 25. He already has 23 this season. The Devils will have to stop Richer.
And the Devils stayed with the young man by the name of Brendan Shanahan, and it has paid off handsomely this season.
And Gary, statistically, the most improved player in the National Hockey League. Last year, after the first 40 games, Brendan Shanahan had 10 points. This year, after the first 40 games, he had 38 points, plus 28. That's the biggest improvement of any player in the National Hockey League.
All right, the Canadiens and the Devils are on the ice. We'll be back for the face-off in just a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Andy.
Our national anthems. Let's take a look at our goaltenders. Patrick Roy's out with the flu.
And in his place, Brian Hayward, a record of 8-9-4. He started the last 6 games and 8 of the last 9 for the Montreal Canadiens. At the other end, Chris Terreri. Now, this was set up. This was a plan all week. That Burke was going to play tomorrow night. Terreri was going to play tonight against the Montreal Canadiens. His record this year, 7-7-0, 3.66. And again, he has played so well, especially in December when Sean Burke wasn't playing well. Chris came along and really had some big games for the Devils.
And the official, Rod Hogarth, 18-year veteran, 41 years old. Ray Scapanello and Gord Brosker working the lines with him. We are ready to go. Skrudland and Brook on the face-off. And it will be won by the Devils. Casatona flips it in. and played in front of the net by Eric Desjardins, working on defense. Desjardins bangs it around, deflected by Jamie Huscroft, getting some playing time here tonight. Held in McPhee in his own zone. McPhee had it poke checked away by Bob Brook. Brook has been a very pleasant surprise for the Devils offensively, and he's playing the defense they wanted from him. Check on the far side by Wolanin, freed the puck up in the corner, still loose behind the net. Strudlin giving chase. Wolanin takes another run, so he's got two Canadiens, one in each corner. Centering pass in front. It's loose. Tied up. Cassaton off. Still loose. Tipped in all alone. Score! Strudlin gets the goal, and the Canadiens in 40 seconds have a 1-0 lead.
And Gary, a situation that has worked in the exact opposite manner the last two games for the Devils. They started the line of Brook, Melee, and they've scored the first game tonight. They're victimized by the Montreal Canadiens. Right here, just three players for the Devils watching that puck. It's moved into Strudlin, and he fires it past Chris Terreri, and the Devils, for the first time in 3 games, are scored on first.
You will not see a man open that low very often in the National Hockey League.
He got the puck, turned around, and was able to shoot. You're right.
Wow. That's the first time I've seen that this season. So Strudlin gets the goal. He's having an outstanding season for them. And it is a 1-0 game. Brian Strudlin of the Canadiens picks up his 5th of the season, the 26-year-old. Devils back in their own end, and that's the first shot of the game. Tommy Abilene plays it out, intercepted, shot right back in by Carbonneau. Taken away by Brendan Shanahan, and it does come out of the zone. Back to get it was Jyrki Lumme. The assist goes to Todd Ewan on Strudlin's goal at the 42nd mark. 1-0 Canadiens on top. Patrick Sundstrom goes wide to Brendan Shanahan, rolls back. Jyrki Lumme back to get it. Hayward held it on the stick. Kenny Danico trying to hold it in, kicked it into the middle. Canadiens break out Guy Carbonneau. He's got 10 goals and he's top 2-on-1. Carbonneau right through the legs and wide. Terreri hit it with a pad on the inside, and it went wide. And a break for the Devils right there. 2-on-1 for the Canadiens. Patrick Sundstrom ahead. Sundstrom in. Peter Svoboda in front of him. The back pass is intercepted. Mats Naslin's got it. Naslin coming. Each team changing. Naslin, he can fly. He is fast. He's tied up. Fetisov. Fetisov may have played his most physical game as a Devil in that last game against Pittsburgh. The Devils winning 6-3, while the Canadiens are coming off a very disappointing loss. Of all teams, Quebec beat them at Quebec by a score of 5-2.
Well, that's just a great rivalry. I think it goes past how teams are playing when those two teams get together.
That shot is blocked. Courtnall took it. Back over to get it is Maley. Maley back out there now with Brook and Brown for the Devils. Driver and Fetisov defensively. Here's Dougie Brown. 1-0. Montreal leading it. Brown in. He'll ship it in around the boards. Canadiens doing some hitting here. They are the least penalized team in the National Hockey League. They do not do a lot of banging. They do a lot of skating. Brook backhands it, tipped wide. Maley was out front. Couldn't get it directed on goal. Matt Snyder, the young defenseman, had his stick held onto by Maley, who freed it up in the corner. Brook digging for it. Brook's got those stitches in the lip. Maley in. Maley shot. Wide rebound. Wide by Brook. He had Hayward down, and the Canadiens will send it out to take the heat off. This will be an icing call. No, it won't. Terreri played it. The Canadiens were changing. Terreri wanted to catch him in a change, but Lemieux was able to knock the puck to the corner. Fetisov off the boards for Brown. Devils changing. Brown, the shot. That's blocked out deep. Ludwig went down on that one. Ludwig just put the body in front of it. Richer couldn't hold it in. Mark Johnson was on the ice. They would have had too many on the ice, so he stepped back on the bench so as not to touch the puck. Muller had it stripped. Richer centered. Rolled under Corson's stick. Devils in a 3-on-3. Mark Johnson. Johnson drops it off for Muller to Johnson. Johnson takes the shot, partially blocked off the boards, played off the backboards by Stéphane Lebeau. Richer dropping it into the middle. Stéphane Richer, their leading scorer on the wide wing. Corson back to him. Intended for Corson. Wolanin tied it up. Cassaton off to pick it up behind the net. And the Devils start back up ice. Wide open.
It is very wide open, but that's unlike the Montreal Canadiens. The Devils might have wanted to open it up. I don't think they thought the Canadiens would come out skating this well through the center ice area.
Typical first period at the Meadowlands. Maley centers. Mark Johnson behind the net. Johnson will come around. Waiting, holding, shot. Still hit the post. It went wide. Hayward got a piece of it, hit it wide, and it went off the far post. Good one underway. 1-0 Montreal under Pat Burns.
Montreal Canadiens, you'll see Smith and Chelios. They're both out for about 2 weeks. Smith with a shoulder, Chelios with a groin. Roy still has the flu, and Gilchrist for the Montreal Canadiens. And again, the Devils, no injuries. Not since December 15th that the Devils had an injury report as a reason for scratching a player.
That's unbelievable. Skrudland, who got the goal, sends it in. Chris Terreri, side of the net. Tommy Abilene back to get it. Each team with a couple of shots. Skrudland dropped it in the middle. Danico lost it. Score! Mistake in the zone, and Mike Keane puts it in. 2-0 Canadiens.
Well, Gary, it just seems to be, again, we talked about it so much, but we can almost get the feeling when you watch the Devils start out these games, they're not prepared for these non-divisional games. Against Pittsburgh the other night, they came out and they were flying. They were coming off a 4-3 loss to the Winnipeg Jets, another non-divisional game. But right here so far in this game, that's Montreal's third good opportunity, and we've only played 5 minutes of this game. I mean, real good opportunity with no one really around.
Amazing. There's Mike Keane, the 22-year-old, who gives the Canadiens a 2-0 lead. Keane was a question whether or not he was going to play tonight.
He has not played the last 5 games for the Montreal Canadiens. He's not been having a good sophomore season. But tonight with some injuries, he's back in there.
Well, the Devils are down by 2. Pia Svoboda whacks it around the boards. Todd Ewan, who got an assist on that goal by Skrudland. Danico is having a tough shift. He lost the puck that time. He's played to the corner. Puck is freed up by Ryan Walter, the veteran. Devils do get it out. Svoboda's got to bring it back to center ice for the Canadiens to clear the zone. Keane's goal is unassisted at 4:22. Keane and Skrudland for the Canadiens, giving them a 2-0 lead, and there's a 2-line pass. Face-off back into the Devils' end.
Johnny Cunniff, coach of the New Jersey Devils. Now, one of the things that Cunniff knows, of course, is the fact that the Montreal Canadiens have a very young defense. They have Ludwig and Svoboda. Ludwig 8 years, Svoboda 6 years in the National Hockey League. But then the other 4 defensemen, 3 are rookies, and 1 is a second-year man. Desjardins, and he only played 36 games last year. So if the Devils can keep forechecking and keep working on the Montreal defense, they're going to get their chances.
Chris Chelios out of there. When he's out of there, you want to try and work that defense as much as you can. Fetisov going back to get it. Talking about the Devils out of the division, they are 11, 13, and 1 in games out of the Patrick division, while the Canadiens are 14, 12, and 4. They have played well both in and out of the division, amazingly well for all the injuries they've gone through. Brought in, Canadiens onside, Mike McPhee. McPhee dropped it into the middle. Just cleared up off the top of the glass that time. Right now the Canadiens controlling. Lefebvre back with it. Lefebvre will drop it off. Youngsters on defense. Matt Schneider, just 20 years old, wearing number 18 for the Canadiens. Flipped into the zone by Skrudland, and the Canadiens want to change up. Fetisov goes back to get it. 14 minutes to go. First period. 2-0 Montreal. John McLean to Shanahan. Could not connect on that one. Bounces. Here's a 3-on-3. McLean gets back. Drop pass Courtnall. Shot saved by Terreri. Blistering shot taken that time again by Mike Keane, who had that last goal. Shanahan brings it out, and he'll dump it in as the Devils change.
One of the things the Devils have not done in this first 7 minutes, Gary, they haven't really laid any body checks out there, and that's letting Montreal come through the center ice area really quickly.
Boy, when that team can do that, you're in trouble. That's an icing call. 2-0, Canadiens leading. Assist for those of you scoring at home on that first goal.
I had a look at Mark Johnson right there. 499 points in the National Hockey League. One more from Magic, 500.
He'll be Stan's guest during the second intermission, so we know he'll have.
We guarantee he'll get it before
it before then. Muller dropped it off. Kasatonov trying to hold it in. Tipped it into the corner to Turgeon. Turgeon dumped it back in behind the net. Covered up there. Canadiens Eric Desjardins, and it's clear to round it out. Kasatonov back to get it. He'll be challenged by Naslund over to Turgeon. And Turgeon on the shot. Broke his stick. Sends it in wide. Kurt Muller over to get it. It comes back to center ice. Claude Lemieux. 41 games Lemieux missed with that abdominal muscle tear. Courtnall! And a save by Terreri. And he's got to dump it. Now he still hasn't got a whistle. Courtnall is looking at the referee standing there waiting. There was no whistle from Ron Hogarth. Wanted him to play the puck. Intercepted. Canadiens. Devils just not connecting right now. Naslund brings it in onside. Taking away Kasatonov. His pass deflected by Naslund to center. Brook knocked it away from Courtnall, but it's sent back in by Eric Desjardins. Terreri in behind the net. Shots are 5-2 in favor of the Canadiens. Out to Brook. Bob Brook backing up. Brook drops it off, tipped out into the middle. Richet's got it. Richet was offside as LeBeau had not come out of the zone. Break in the action is a great time for you to take a break for that great taste of Bud Light. The big hit with fans everywhere because everything else is just a light.
Gary, a 2-0 lead for the Montreal Canadiens this early in the first period is something they're not used to. They have not been scoring goals so far this season. 16th in the National Hockey League in scoring goals, and with Smith out of the lineup and Chelios, it has not been easy for them. Their goaltending's been pretty good. It always is with Hayward and their overall team defense, but scoring goals has been a problem.
Real problem, but they are #1 in defense, so trying to come back against this team is not easy. They only give up 2.89. That's their combined goals against with Hayward and Patrick Roy. In front, shot tipped wide, Patrick Sundstrom. Danico holds it in around the net. Shanahan had it tipped away. Again, Danico moving up. Shanahan's got it. Peter Svoboda hits it. Shanahan and Svoboda. Knocked away to the corner to McLean. McLean by Richer to Tommy Abilene. Richer was rushing him, so Abilene dumped it out in front. Jirke Luma there and took a dive. No call on it. Tommy Abilene sent it in. Devils are offside. Faceoff will be out at center. No question about the offside there.
Patrick Sundstrom. It was interesting to talk to Patrick about the All-Star game, and said that he doesn't ever expect to make the All-Star team because he just doesn't have the kind of statistics that let people understand around the league what a superior hockey player he is.
If the players voted, would he make it?
I have to think so. I think especially if it was voted in the division where teams play each other 7 or 8 times and you face him in 3-2 games, 8-7 games, when you're ahead, when you're behind, on the road and at home, all those things coming into play, I think Sundstrom would have to be on the All-Star team.
I agree with you. I think he would do that by the players. Tommy Abilene goes back to get it. Devils trying to get one here. 11:40 left to go. They've only had 2 shots on goal. The Canadiens will do that to you. That's part of their defensive play. It's not just their goaltending. Brown dropped it. Maley overskated. Back to Tommy Abilene. His shot deflected. Saved by Hayward. Rebound Brown. It's loose in front. Taken away by Richer. Canadiens break Richer. They've got a 3-on-3. Shane Corson the shot. That's wide. David Maley back at the point has it. Canadiens are back on defense. Lefebvre was back, just stayed there, and Snyder was with him. And they'll drop it back into the zone. The Canadiens this season, even though they're not scoring a lot, have outshot the opposition or been very close to doing so in virtually all their games. Tells you how tough they play on defense. And that'll be taken by Maley.
Another thing that tells you, Gary, is they don't have a lot of real gifted goal scorers. Smith is not having a good season scoring goals. Naslund only has 14 so far this season. Really, Richer is their only legitimate goal-scoring threat because Lemieux was out for so long.
Brooks got it. Brooks centers right through the crease. And played on the far side. Turgeon moving up, trying to hold it in. Could not do it. Canadiens again the step jump out of the zone. Taken away from Corson by Fetisov. Fetisov going back in behind the net. Todd Ewan going after him. He got it away. Brook drops it back to Driver. Driver trying to break Muller. They're onside. Muller with Turgeon in the middle. Muller isn't tipped away. Good defensive play. Desjardins just put the stick in that time. Desjardins tying up Muller. Mark Johnson moves in, and he has it taken away. Canadiens are on the puck. Guy Carbonneau dug that one out. Carbonneau got it to center to Ryan Walters. Walter will be pinned up against the boards. Fetisov has the puck. Fetisov dumps it to Muller. Muller with Turgeon. Muller again losing it. Down low, Turgeon shot, missed it wide. In front, Johnson shot, rebound, Turgeon save. Hayward never knew it. Wolanin shot, and it's right into the stomach of Craig Ludwig. The Devils 3 chances to score. They don't get it. 2-0 Canadiens.
Good opportunity here. Some good forechecking by Muller, Turgeon, and Johnson right here. Puck will come up front. This is the one that Hayward did not see at all. The puck went back to the point, and then Ludwig blocked a shot. Watch for Ludwig to block a lot of shots tonight for the Canadiens.
Good job by Hayward. His save percentage, 8.91. Patrick Roy's got the best save percentage in the league at 9.09. Incredible numbers for their goaltenders again. Devils down 2-0. Brought up by Craig Wolanin into the middle, tipped away. Not a good pass. 2-on-1 break. Canadiens in. Courtnall's in the middle, tipped it wide. Courtnall taking that pass from Mats Naslund. Another 2-on-1 chance. The Canadiens are getting the opportunities. Hard check by Wolanin on the far side. He and Lume. And they break away from the Devils bench. Peter Svoboda with a 360 move. And again, Wolanin over there to put the check on, but it went up into the Devils bench for the whistle.
Craig Wolanin playing his 5th game now with Kasatonov. 4 have been in the National Hockey League, 1 exhibition game. And I really think that playing the left side has helped Wolanin. He seems to be having a much easier job getting the puck, getting on his stick, and in control to make that pass. Sometimes when he was playing the right side, it looked as though he's having a little trouble taking the puck off the boards from his backhand to his forehand to make the pass. Now he's just getting on his forehand right away and making that quick pass. And he and Kasatonov +2 against Pittsburgh, and seemingly playing very well as a pair.
Good combination for them, no question. That's helped both. Kenny Danico at his own end now with Tommy Abilene. The Devils, Patrick Sundstrom, and a 2-line pass. That's one of the reasons some people want to take away that red line for purposes of that 2-line pass to allow those kinds of breakouts to take place.
You're right. There's no reason for that to be called. I mean, it's just it just stops play. It stops the flow of the play. Both teams were ready for that action, ready to handle that offensive play. The people that want the center ice don't want people going way out to their blue line to stand around for those breakaway passes. You're not going to get guys standing out there. You'd get shot if you stood out there all game.
It sure would. Another interception by Courtnall. Drops it for Naslund. Naslund turning for Svoboda, but tipped away by Patrick Sundstrom. The Canadiens continue to get the jump here. They're beating the Devils, getting 2-on-1s, intercepting passes, and taking advantage of it. They got a 2-0 lead, and they're playing their usual kind of defense. Naslund was able to free that puck up to Luma. Back the other way, Jyrki Luma. Luma brings it in, drops it. They're onside, shot by Lemieux. Gets it back. Lemieux lost it, rolls to center. Brendan Shanahan with McLean. Canadiens are back. Shanahan brings it in, trouble controlling it. Shanahan dropped it, down low, Patrick Sundstrom, and did he ever pass up a shot? Naslund coming the other way. Naslund to Courtnall. Courtnall drops it. Here's Peter Svoboda. Drops it back. Courtnall wraparound shot. And a save made by Driver. Bruce Driver blocked that shot on the wraparound. Patrick Sundstrom was all alone the last time he came up ice. Devils changing. Sundstrom just tips it into the zone. Skrudland going after it. Skrudland backs it up. Skrudland and Keane have the goals tonight for the Canadiens. 2-0 here in the first period. Pinned up. Maley trying to dig it out of there. Mike Keane trying to pull it in. Number 12 of the Canadiens kicked away Maley without a stick. Maley. Brook coming in to help out. Bob Brook dug it out. Knocked it to the corner. Tried to go after it. McPhee got there first. Mike McPhee. He drops it back into the middle of Skrudland. Tipped off Driver's stick. Race for it. It'll be taken by Fetisov. Vladislav Fetisov back out to Brook. Another one of those passes right up through the slot. The crowd oohing and awing about it. So's Chris Terreri. Brought in by Fetisov. Dropped. No, held on to. Sent it in for Maley. Deflected over Hayward's head. Round the boards and out. This will be an icing. No, not enough on it.
And this is one of the things the Devils will be facing tonight. The young Montreal defensemen, when they're in trouble, will just be wrapping it around the boards.
Don't make mistakes. Brown brings it in. Gets shut down by Lefebvre. Lefebvre takes a hit by Muller, who freed it. Brown trying to drop it back into the middle. Muller kicks it free. Muller knocked down by Snyder. Rolls in on goal, and Hayward hangs on. And there is no penalty. Ryan Hayward's had himself a busy night already. Canadiens leading it 2-0.
Making a good individual effort right here. He thought maybe he was pulled down right there, but the referees let a couple things go for both teams at each end, so at least he's calling a consistent game. He's not calling the little trips around the net.
Good chance for Muller. So the Devils still looking for that first goal here with 6:53 left in the first. Kasatonov had it blocked. Gets it back in. Muller gets pinned up against the boards. Trying to kick the puck out. Turgeon moves in to help him out. It comes to the middle. Devils get a break. No penalty on that sticking call. Ryan Walter gets it out. Wolanin's got to chase it down. Canadiens, as we said, they do not want to get into penalty trouble. They average only 16.8 minutes of penalties per game. Fewest in the National Hockey League. One of the reasons for that is this Canadian team wants to play at even strength because that's where they can beat you.
Because they had the worst power play in the National Hockey League. As unbelievable as that sounds, the Montreal Canadiens power play has been awful this year.
Awful. Ryan Walter backs it in. Save Terreri. Rebound sitting there. Kicked away by Kasatonov to Johnson to Turgeon. Back to Kasatonov. Let's say Kasatonov back to Mark Johnson. Finds it. Johnson in. Johnson the move. Devils changing. Goes to the corner. Turgeon after it. Gets a ride. Ludwig hit him that time. Picked up by Muller. Muller looking out in front. Everybody down except Kasatonov. Muller sends it back towards the middle. Devils had everybody in that time with only one defenseman back. Tommy Abilene moves it in. Devils trying to complete a change here. Brendan Shanahan drops it off. Turgeon's got it. Turgeon moves in. Turgeon's shot not a good one, and Hayward makes the save. The Devils just don't have the jump right here in this first period. There are some lanes to shoot in, but they're not getting there.
Well, I think, again, it's just the idea they didn't seem to come out with the same sort of intensity the Montreal Canadiens did. As we look at Turgeon's total so far this season, again, on the pace for a solid 40-goal season. That's what the Devils got him for. But he seems to be this year, and I think in all the years he's played hockey, a streaky type of player. You have to accept the little 3-4 game slumps where he goes through where he doesn't score. He hasn't scored the last 3 games because in the next 4 games, he can take over and get 6 goals, and 2 of them will be game winners. So that you have to take the good with the bad with Turgeon.
All right, now it's just been a little quiet off the sticks. Richer sends that one in. Richer with 23 goals, 28 assists, has the puck. He is dangerous, strong, quick, just an all-around outstanding hockey player. John McLean digs it out, goes wide to Shanahan. Devils will dump that one in. Hayward able to block it, though. Peter Swoboda comes back to get it. Swoboda's only 23, but he's one of the veterans now on this defensive core of the Canadiens as they're currently constituted. Shane Corson drops it right back to the middle. Richer will chase it down. Richer drops it a little deeper. Danico back to get it. Notice how the Canadiens, they'll go to the net. They drop the pass to the net, and they charge the net. Patrick Sundstrom couldn't get it. Swoboda tipped it away. Again, Richer will turn. Canadiens want to change. Richer dropped it off. Sundstrom broke it up. Picked up by Driver. Driver into the middle for McLean. But the Canadiens are tying the Devils at center. Patrick Sundstrom on the off-wing side. Sundstrom moves in. Still has it. Good strength. Banged it off the boards on a pass down low for Ojanen. Yanni Ojanen got tied up. Couldn't control it. Lemieux took it away. And Lemieux's pass blocked. McLean's got it. Devils are onside. Devils also are changing.
Everyone talks so much about the Montreal Canadiens defense in their own zone. Really, it's the center ice area where they really slow teams down.
Lemieux dropped it into the middle for Courtnall, who drops it back. And again, right in front of the net, that tip passing. Not the shot that time. Jamie Huscroft in. Huscroft looking. Sends it in. Lefebvre was standing right in front of him. Matthew Snyder gets dumped. Shot saved. Rebound shot. Score! 2 chances. Jamie Huscroft.
We talked about the fact that maybe the Devils hadn't come out and really started to hit people right here. Watch the hit behind the net that creates this goal. The puck will go into the boards right here. And in comes Poddubny, knocks the man off the puck, gets it out front to Huscroft. Good play by Poddubny to not only take Schneider into the boards, but get the puck out to Huscroft.
So Jamie Huscroft back in action tonight after being out 3 games, picks up the goal, gets the Devils on the board. Only his 2nd goal, and it is a 2-1 Canadiens lead. Brown tips it in wide of Hayward. Each team now with 7 shots on goal. The Canadiens still up by 1. Brook held it in. Fetisov save Hayward. Brown couldn't get it. Shot by Driver, tipped wide of the net. And the Devils pumping rubber on Hayward that forced the Canadiens to clear. Driver back to get it. Huscroft from Walt Poddubny at 16:02, making it a 2-1 Canadiens lead. Chris Terreri holds it up behind the net. Fetisov back. Sellout crowd here at the Meadowlands tonight. Well, the Devils are trying to make it a 4-1 homestand if they can win this game tonight. Fetisov back over to Driver. Brown, Brook, Maley are out there now. Hayward pointing to the corner where the puck is. Ludwig going over to get it. Banged up by Brook and Brown. Brown trying to free it up does. Good play by Brown. Back to Kasatonov. Tried to wield it into the middle. Courtnall broke the pass up over to Naslund. Naslund trying to stay on side while the Canadiens change. Courtnall will drop it back. That's a European move right there. Instead of dumping it in on a change, you dump it back into your own zone.
Keep control of the puck.
Into the middle, off the boards for Mark Johnson. Peter Swoboda tipped it back to center. Johnson gets run into Scapanelli, the linesman, that time. Taken by Skrudland. Skrudland and Keane have scored for the Canadiens. Peter Swoboda in his own end. Devils with a couple of 4 checkers up. Almost had that one, not quite. Here comes Skrudland. Skrudland with 2:20 left to go, brings it in, fakes it, takes it, save! Off the glove and wide. Terreri bobbled that one, but he went wide of the net. Backed into the middle by Muller. Keane's there to intercept it. Devils Again, losing it at center ice, and the good moves by the Canadiens. Skrudlin right back in. Hit by Wolanin into the corner. McPhee. Kasatonov hits him. Comes free to Skrudlin. Drops it back for Keane. Taken away Mark Johnson. Johnson around Skrudlin. Trying to get it to Turgeon. Aerial pass over his stick. Swoboda back to get it.
Gary, the pace has slowed down a little bit here, but that was a big goal by the Devils. They're back within one goal. They don't really have to try and change their game plan too much.
And we will be back with a minute 42 to go in the first. It loses the likes of Robinson, Gainey, and Green all in 1 year, and you got so many players who are in their either 20 or early 20s. That's the situation of the Canadiens, yet they come in here with the 6th best record in the National Hockey League, and all of those injuries they've gone through.
They've had a very tough time, and Burns has done a good job keeping this team above 500.
Playing really well. Good check by Tommy Abilene. Puck rolled free, and the Devils will get it. Todd Ewan was the one who got dumped in the corner. Patrick Sundstrom brings it in. Shanahan, a whistle and an offside.
Brendan Shanahan, last game against the Pittsburgh Penguins, Shanahan had a goal and an assist. Sundstrom had a goal and an assist. And McLean had a goal and 2 assists. So each player on this line scored. They were all plus. They had an excellent game. Facing Mario Lemieux a lot. Kind of put this line against Lemieux. He put Brooks' line against Lemieux. But Shanahan doing an excellent job again this season. So much maturity you see in his play. He's doing all the little things. And really now when he gets the puck, it's very difficult to take a puck off him.
Really strong handling the puck now. Sent in Terreri behind the net. Slowed it down for Danico. Ryan Walder moves in on him. Walder freed it up, and Brook goes back to cover up. 1 minute left to go here in the first period. During our first intermission, Matt Snyder, the young 20-year-old, will be joining Stan Fischler. Have a chance to meet one of the real bright prospects for the Canadiens. Tommy Abilene sends it in behind the net. Maley couldn't get it. He got tied up. Ludwig goes over to get it. Ludwig will just flip that one out of the zone. Canadiens chasing it down. Carbonneau with Richer. There's Richer. Don't let him wind up. Good pickpocket. Tommy Abilene's got it off the Brown. 33 seconds to go in the period. Dougie Brown looking, taking, missed it wide. Used Ludwig as a screen that time. Here comes Richer. Stephane Richer, Canadiens leading scorer, shutting it down, waiting for help. Dumps it in through the crease again. McLean comes back to get it. 18 seconds left in the period. John McLean by Skrudlin. Devils changing here. We'll try and get one more offensive flurry down to 10 seconds left in the period. The Montreal Canadiens have the puck. All they don't want to do is make a mistake. Lume clears it. It's onside. It'll be watched in behind the net. And that's going to do it. First period. Canadiens go to the dressing room with a 2-1 lead. Tis 40 seconds into the game. Brian Skrudlin would get the first one for the Canadiens.
And the Devils just get caught. 3 players skating past the puck. Ewan intercepts it right there, and will move it to Skrudlin. 3 players attack Ewan right there. McPhee gets it into Skrudlin, and he is wide open right here. Gets a turn from backhand to forehand and sweep it by Chris Terreri.
Skrudlin's first point against the New Jersey Devils this season in the 3 games. Ewan and McPhee on the assist at 40 seconds. Then a mistake by the Devils would give the Canadiens their second chance, and they took advantage of it.
Mike Keane, who has not played in the last 5 games for the Montreal Canadiens, will pick the puck up right here. And the puck is just given away right there. Keane just turns and fires past the surprise Chris Terreri. And Montreal had a quick 2-0 lead.
And for Mike Keane, that's his second point against the Devils this season, unassisted at .422. The Devils responded. Hard work got them this goal.
Some good hard hitting by Podubny. But one of the players that's been called up, Jamie Huscroft, he's been here with the Devils. This is his 16th game. He hasn't played in them all, but the record since he's been part of the Devils team is 10-4-1. Sometimes it's not big trades that make a difference. It's just bringing in the right kind of people, and Jamie Huscroft is one of those kind of people.
Gets his second goal with Podubny getting the assist at 16:02. The Canadiens lead it. Second period coming up.
On Tuesday, host the Edmonton Oilers, it will be Red Robin Pennant Night. The first 15,000 fans attending the game will receive an 8x18 Devils pennant, compliments of Red Robin restaurants.
Patrick Sundstrom ready to take the face-off against Brian Skrudlin as we begin the second period. The Canadiens on top by a score of 2-1. Sundstrom out there with Shanahan and McLean, Wolanin and Kasatonov. working for the defensive pairing of the Devils. Brendan Shanahan tipped it in, shot right back out to center, and right into the end. This is not going to be an icing call. They wave it off. Terreri played it around the dash into Wolanin. He gets run into by Skrudland. Behind the net, Keane. Keane trying to center, knocked away Kasatonov. Back the other way, Kasatonov will pick it up. Pittsburgh's added another goal. They lead Washington 2-0. Tony Tanti, 15th of the year. Mario Lemieux an assist. Lemieux's scoring streak now at 33 straight games. Brendan Shanahan, Skrudland tipped that one back to the corner. Kasatonov's pass intercepted at center. Desjardins will send it in.
Okay, boy.
Your American is Desjardins. They go to Montreal, they say, please use a Desjardins. Oui, oui. Patrick Sundstrom drops it off, intercepted. Canadiens at center. Mike McPhee knocking it away a couple of times. Shot back in by Kasatonov, this time wide of Haywood. Craig Ludwig back to get it over to Desjardins, up to Richer. Richer, the move on Brook, drops it to Shutter. McPhee. McPhee comes with Carboneau over to Richer. Richer trying to kick it up, put it between the skates, controls it out in front. Now lost it to Brook. Bob Brook intercepting. McPhee knocks it down, holds it in. Behind the net, Terreri had a little bit of trouble with it. Fetisov rather out there now, up to Huscroft. Maley dropped it back right through the crease that time, over to get it Brown. Brown partially blocked by Ryan Walter. Hayward will just hold it up. Maley up on the forecheck. Vita Swoboda circles the net. Swoboda. He doesn't look like a rink rat. I've never seen one. Ryan Walter brings it in. Tip to the corner. Walter centers shot. Carboneau save. Terreri. Guy Carboneau was all by himself in the high slot. Brook passes over to Driver. Back in the middle. Brown. Dougie Brown in. Swoboda turns it. Brown over to Driver. Lots of room. The shot just wide. About an inch off the far post. Terreri back to play it.
Driver doing a good job at Brown. Doing a job of finding Driver on the far side.
Mark Johnson sends it in for Turgeon. Hayward knocked it away. Turgeon lost it to Lemieux. Mark Johnson gets checked off the puck by Walter. Danico gloves it ahead. If the Devils touch it, it's a glove pass, and they do for the whistle. Just underway, second period, 2-1 Canadiens. Coming into this with the 8th best record in the National Hockey League. They're 21-19-4. As we said, the Canadiens are 6th, and the Devils, knowing what this division is like, how important these games are at home in particular. Lemieux shot blocked by Terreri. Tommy Abilene back to get it. Chris Terreri against the Montreal Canadiens lifetime, 1 loss, and that came this season. Johnson drops it. Muller shot, save, rebound. Mark Johnson, and Hayward came up with another save. That's Naslund got it. The rebound to Courtnall to Naslund. Naslund, Courtnall breaking, cut off in front. Canadiens trying to hold it in. Danico. Lemieux steps in right off the side of the net to Danico. Danico up, out, and icing on the Devils. One's touched up by Sylvain Lefebvre. Update on the out-of-town scoreboard. Hello?
Hello. Pittsburgh Penguins now ahead of the Washington Capitals. 3-0 in the first period. Again, Washington losing their last 6 games. This has just been a very tough stretch from they are missing Langway and Stevens, but even with those players out of the lineup, you'd think they had enough people to win a few hockey games.
They're being outscored now 157 to 146. That's a Capitals team that relies on a lot of defense usually. Get a lead, play defense. Not working. Tied with the Rangers for last place in the Patrick division. 40 points. Washington 17th overall in the league. The Rangers are 18th. Sundstrom on the face-off. Kasatonov's got it. You see how much ice time Alexei Kasatonov is getting as he gets into the flow, and it didn't take long.
There, he's just going to get more and more.
Shanahan lost the centering pass just a little bit too far behind him. Wolanin's shot is blocked by Shane Corson. Glove down, brought back out. Ludwig to Richer. Richer over for Corson. Terreri plays it by Richer. Shanahan dropped it off for Patrick Sundstrom. Sundstrom coming. Sends it. John McLean. McLean shot wide of Hayward. Wolanin holds it in. Down to McLean. Tried to shut it down. Knocked back into him by Desjardins. McLean out in front. Knocked down Shanahan. And there's our first penalty of the game. Desjardins. Terrific power play for the Devils.
What causes most penalties in the National Hockey League. It's hard work by the other team. You see right here that the line of Shanahan, Sundstrom, McLean, again, just working hard down low in the Montreal zone. Eventually you get pulled down.
That's what happened to Shanahan. Desjardins goes out of there. There you see the Devils on the power play, and the Canadiens killing them off in the middle of the pack. Their specialty teams have not been good. Montreal Canadiens on their specialty teams are -8. While the New Jersey Devils, their specialty teams are +3 right now, as they have scored 38 power play goals while giving up 35. Driver brings it ahead. Against Montreal this season, the Devils are 2 for 9 on the power play. They got a chance to tie it up with the advantage. Patrick Sundstrom tied up, taken down by Skrudler. Behind the net, Matt Snyder around the boards and out. Peter and I did a game last week with the Canadiens play Buffalo, and I want to tell you, they look strong on their specialty teams.
Well, they looked real good because they had Skrudler back, they had Carbonneau back. Now, these are the type of forwards that kill penalties that weren't in their lineup for long parts of the season.
Score! Tipped in! Patrick Sundstrom, the goal will count. Canadiens arguing the stick was too high, but Rod Hogarth says no, and the Devils on a power play goal tie it at 2.
We'll see the shot right here from Bruce Driver. Sundstrom in front of the net. Oh, now it's close. Now it's where he touches the puck. It's not if his stick is ever over his shoulder. It's where he touches the puck. Right here. It looks like it was just about level.
That's why you have officials.
Now, the last 3 goals that Patrick Sundstrom has got, the last game against Pittsburgh and then one against Detroit, none of them have been on the ice. All 3 of them he has either bunted or knocked in out of midair. Just great hand-eye coordination.
Patrick Sundstrom averaging a point a game lifetime against the Canadiens. Keeps it up here. Devils tie at 2-2, so the Devils, who are down 2-0, have come back to tie this game up with the last 2 goals. Sent in by Lemieux, played by Terreri. Lost. Naslund trying to center. Naslund kicked it in front. Shot by Lemieux, went wide. Good job by Naslund behind the net. And Naslund trying to dig it out of the corner. It's down underneath McLean. There's no Fetisov. There's no whistle. Naslund got it. Goes back to the point. Fetisov blocked it to Driver. Fetisov turns it up ice. Sundstrom gets his 16th at 4:30. Power play goal from Driver and Shanahan. Turgeon shot. Misses wide. Swoboda goes back to get it. Held in by Kirk Muller. Canadiens have now given up 8 power play goals in the last 24 chances for the opposition. That's a lot. Lemieux intended for Courtnall. Good back checking by Johnson. Tried to feed Muller. Intercepted Lemieux. Johnson took it away again. Lost it this time to Luma. Yerke Luma will take it back. 2-2 game here at the Meadowlands with 14:22 left to go. Second period. Driver. Naslund was on him for a moment. Now backs the center. Ahead to Turgeon, and he's offside. Stepped in himself that time.
Gary, you can feel the Devils starting to feel a little more confident in this hockey game. That goal by Huscroft, created by the Devils' 4th line, Podubny, Ojanen, and Huscroft, really seems to have lifted up the rest of the players. And since that point, they've been playing a little more confident, especially coming through the center ice area. In the first 15 minutes of the game, Montreal is doing a good job. Now the Devils are doing a little more work through that area.
See how close these games have been this season. A 5-4 win for the Devils at Montreal. They lost 4-3, however, here at the Meadowlands. And last season, the Canadiens in the last 2 games of the year beat them 5-4 and 1-0. So 4 one-goal games in a row against these Canadiens. Face-off coming at center. Waiting there for Shane Corson, who went over to pick up the new stick. On the draw, Richer and Mailey do battle. After it was won, Mailey dropped it in. Right back out, Lefebvre dropped it to center. Devils regain possession. Tommy Abilene pushes it up into the zone. Lefebvre is back there. Lefebvre off the boards. Corson's got it. Corson for Richer, intercepted by Brook. Bob Brook backs it up. LeBeau back to Richer. We've not seen Richer getting wound up yet. Drops it in the middle. Played to center, and Matthew Snyder will have to come back to get it. Canadiens get back on side. Sent in on goal. Terreri with the save. Shots here are 12-11 in favor of the Devils. Centering pass flipped out by Kenny Danico. Lefebvre again back to get it. Only 22 years old, Sylvain Lefebvre. Matthew Snyder, Richer, Brown. Brown had it for a moment. Richer took it back. Like Lemieux, good play by Brown again. Richer, like Lemieux, has that long reach. Shot by Snyder. Save made by Terreri. Good hard shot by Matthew Snyder. Kenny Danico gets it. Danico on the Abilene. Abilene blue line shot. That one blocked. Good save made by Hayward. Off the boards. Canadiens get it back. LeBeau dumped to center. Shane Corson brings it in. Corson with Kasatonov in front of him. Drops it. Richer waiting in front of the net for a pass he will not get as Stefan LeBeau got tied up in the corner. Yanni Ojanen couldn't get it out of the zone. Richer took it away and held it into Corson. Corson drops it. Shot. Tipped wide. Walt Podubny got the stick in to break up that pass. Stefan LeBeau was breaking in towards the net. Wide by Tommy Abilene. Podubny shoots it wide on the short side. Craig Wolanin. Wolanin waiting. He'll send it back in. He wanted to shoot it. Couldn't do it. Intercepted, sent out by Ludwig to Keane. Kasatonov in front of him. Kasatonov to Wolanin. Canadiens used the chance to change. Tipped in from center by Jamie Huscroft, who has one of the two Devils goals here tonight. Huscroft blocked the pass. Rolls back to Desjardins. Desjardins starts it up. 12-11 to go. Second period. 2-2 at the Meadowlands. Patrick Sundstrom. Good checking at center. Desjardins takes him to the boards. Puck's underneath the skates. Kicked around. Ojanen's got it. Yanni Ojanen. Ojanen backing it up off the boards. Nobody there for the Devils. Off Wolanin to center. Ojanen. Kasatonov. Sundstrom. Sundstrom between the legs of Brian Skrudland. Sundstrom in. Wrist shot deflected way back into the stands. That'll stop the clock. 2-2 tie. 2-2 game. Mario Lemieux has a goal and an assist now, extending that scoring streak to 33. 3-0 Pittsburgh over Washington. Lemieux got the last goal. Peter Svoboda in the corner, tipped away from John McLean. McPhee pinches it off. Shanahan got it, tried to go to the point. It hit Patrick Sundstrom, tied up by McPhee. Shanahan avoids Svoboda, centers it. It rolls in front, tipped wide. Shanahan looking, waiting, centered back. McPhee intercepts. Couldn't find anybody in the middle, so he tried to go to the point, but it was just too long a pass. Canadiens held their ground. Didn't give him a lane to shoot it up in. Shot back to the middle. McPhee. McPhee's got some room. His shot blocked. Shot Peter Svoboda saved by Terreri. Still no whistle. Now it blows for the faceoff.
But again, the pace of the play is slowed down, and there's much more play deep in the other team zones. There's not so much of that flying through the middle ice area, especially the Montreal Canadiens were doing early in the game.
Pat Burns, second year. Last season, the best rookie record in the history of the National Hockey League when the Canadiens just blew it apart. Canadiens were so tough. 30 wins at home last season for Montreal.
The record last year in the road, 23-12-5, and this year, 7-12-3. You know, that's I guess is where they're losing the points and why their record isn't as good as it was last year.
Canadiens win the draw. Svoboda the shot, saved Terreri and deflected wide. Kasatonov will go get it. Played by Muller, not out. Ryan Walter holding it in. Brook had it back. Svoboda gets it. Peter Svoboda to the middle. Shane Corson back checked by Mark Johnson. On the break, they had Turgeon breaking at center. Lume got there first. Left at the side of the net. Terreri decides to play it to the corner. Kasatonov's got it. Kasatonov, his first National Hockey League point in the last game over Pittsburgh. Mark Johnson. Turgeon shot, saved by Hayward. Right up against the post on Brian Hayward that time. Canadiens back. Carbonneau's got 10 goals, 12 assists. Kasatonov just did him a favor. He could have rode him right into the cage, and he held on to him. After he lost the puck, he just held on to Carbonneau. Johnson to Muller. Poke checked away. Snyder got a piece of that to poke it away. Here's Lemieux after it. Wolanin's got it. Wolanin's hard pass comes all the way back to Turgeon at center. He got dumped. Blocked. Center ice play. Kasatonov. Pass intercepted again at center. Carbonneau in onside. Carbonneau drops it. Wolanin's there. Back to Brook. Brook goes wide side to Turgeon. Turgeon with Muller. Turgeon shot. And a deflection up into the stands. In fact, into the balcony. There's our first balcony shot of the season. They don't get many up there.
Let's have a look at Stefan Lefebvre. 1 goal, 7 assists, 8 points so far this season, 36 games. Another one of the Montreal Canadiens rookies on defense. And it is amazing that the Canadiens are winning with all these defensemen and their goals against stays so low, because it is the toughest thing in the world, or toughest thing in hockey, I believe, to come in the National Hockey League as a rookie defenseman. And they have 3 rookie defensemen and a second-year man playing for them tonight, and they're still playing a strong defensive game.
You got to know they're smiling again. They always are at the Forum, but I mean, they are playing so well with everything that's gone on, and they've got all these kids getting all this ice time for them. They've got a great future in front of the franchise one more time. Knocked down by Doug Brown, held it into Brook. Brook looking, dropped it into the middle, rolls back to Lemieux. Claude Lemieux, the 24-year-old, brings it out. Lemieux in on Danico, backs it up. Terreri knocks it away. Mats Naslund has it. Naslund, Lemieux, and Courtnall on this line. Intercepted by Brown to Maley. Devils have the checking line out against it. Maley sends it in. Hayward in behind the net, holds it up. Desjardins goes back to get it. Desjardins, Eric Desjardins. Courtnall crisscrossing with Lemieux, sends it in. Save Terreri. That went through. It hit Terreri's right pad for the save. Tommy Abilene to Maley. David Maley coming 4-on-3 for the Devils. Maley drops it off. The shot, save, rebound, loose by Hayward. Rolls back to Danico. Danico faking it and lost it. Waited too long on that one, and the Canadiens got back. Devils changing. Driver drops it off for Fetisov. Ahead McLean, tipped it by Svoboda. Peter Svoboda will take it in behind the net. I said he looks like a rink rat because it seems like he can skate forever. He goes out there and he's free-flowing. Good stick handler. Shane Corson. Richer, leg out. Save, scored, rolled in. Stéphane Richer gets a little leg room, and it's a 3-2 Canadiens lead.
The first real power move we've seen Richer make tonight. Gary, he just flies. When he comes up that ice, it's impossible to stop. We saw speed and strength in one great combination right here. You see Richer coming from behind. Man gets a good piece of his foot, but he doesn't lose his balance, and the shot powers its way by. It only gets by about 3 or 4 inches, but obviously more than enough for a goal for the Montreal Canadiens. Watch him coming from behind here. He's knocked right there. That would have knocked a lot of players over when the defenseman hit his foot right there, but he just kept coming up.
Richer gets his 24th. He's got 2 goals, 2 assists against the Devils in these 3 games this season. There's an outstanding hockey player. Stéphane Richer, once he gets free, goaltender hasn't got much of a chance. Shanahan centering. Canadiens back on top. They've had the lead throughout when there's been a lead. 2-0. Now 3-2. Devils had to fight back from that 2-0 deficit to get it tied up. Brought in. McLean shot, block, rebound, shot, saved by Hayward on Shanahan. Shot, Fetisov deflected, and a whistle. A whistle. It was hit with a high stick by a Devil, and the faceoff will come to center. Richer's goal. Corson and Svoboda get the assist at 11:40. Canadiens lead it 3-2. Only one thing better than a Devils win, and that's celebrating that win with an ice-cold Budweiser. Devils fans, this Bud's for you. Walt Podubny on the faceoff against Stéphane Lebeau. Lebeau's only 21, sent right in on Hayward, who has to make a save on that. Canadiens lead at 3-2. Driver's got it. Driver ahead for Podubny. Walter Podubny had a poke checked away by Richer, taken back by Ojanen. And they're saying it was a delayed offside call. Okay. Richer with his goal now has points in 10 consecutive games, 14 points in the last 10 games. Shane Corson also has a 5-game consecutive scoring streak going.
Richer, one of 4 Montreal Canadiens going to the All-Star game next week in Pittsburgh.
Shot saved by Hayward. Yanni Ojanen taking that one off the draw. That's 2 shots off a face-off. Here's Richer again. Richer with Fetisov in front of him. Fetisov forces the play and gets the puck. Richer goes down behind the play. Devils have a step on him now. Fetisov rushing it. Dumps it wide of the net. Hayward off the glass. Walt Podubny couldn't get it. Shane Corson, nice drop pass into the middle. Here's Richer again with Wolanin. Richer. He faked that shot. And a penalty as Richer goes down against the boards. He wound up as though to blast it and then throttled back and then got dumped. And he's getting up slowly. We'll see his condition when we come back here. Canadiens up by a goal. Pat Burns needs is another injury. But fortunately, Richer is up and skating over to the bench. There was no call on that, no penalty. Richer got dumped into the boards, and he was asking about it after. Or is there one?
There is a penalty for high sticking, but he said the reason they took so long is they were looking to see if Richer was cut, and then it would have been the automatic 5-minute penalty.
Well, they do give him 2.
Let's talk about Pat Burns, a former policeman. I still think the funniest story that Burns tells is when the only time he was ever hurt, when he was a policeman, he went to intercede on a domestic quarrel, and he was hit over the head with a frozen turkey at Christmas time. That was not cold. That was the only time he was injured.
That's when he decided it was safer being in a hockey rink.
Yeah, boy.
Well, Lannon out of there. That's only the second penalty we've had in this game. And the Devils have scored on their power play. We'll see if the Canadiens can do it on theirs. They haven't very often. They've been more successful of late. They've had 6 out of their last 25 go in. But they've only scored 9 power play goals on the road. The fewest in the National Hockey League. And the fewest overall, for that matter. Ida Swoboda, short-handed here. Canadiens holding it in. Courtnall. Canadiens on the power play. Devils. Brook out on the penalty-killing unit. Danico. And Danico sends it out. Kasatonov also playing along with Doug Brown in this penalty-killing unit. Lume goes back to get it. Had to get around Brown and did. Courtnall. Courtnall brings it in. No Canadien has had more than 4 power play goals. That's amazing. Lume shot, save, Terreri. Rebound came loose, and Danico kicked it out and clears the zone.
Good job by the Devil defenseman there, clearing out the front of the net. And again, that appears to be one of the problems for Montreal. There is no one in front to get those rebounds.
Hard to believe. How can a Canadiens power play be as ineffective? Every time I look at that, I just can't believe it.
They just don't have the talent, really. It's been injured,
yeah,
or it hasn't been together at any one time. But they don't have a whole bunch of real natural goal scorers. It cost them the Stanley Cup last year.
That's right. Canadiens last season finished 8th on the power play. In on Terreri, blocked. Courtnall's got it. Courtnall coming up. Richer, Corson, and Bobby Smith, who's out injured, all have 4 power play goals. Those are the 3 who have 4. Swoboda steps up. McLean got it out. McLean had the weight advantage on that one and just muscled it out. Yerke Luma goes back. John McLean up on the forecheck on him. Canadiens on a power play. 16 seconds left on it. Hard to tell. That's how tough it's been for them. Sylvain Lefebvre wraps it around the boards. There's nobody there for the Canadiens. You get the sense they just as soon deny the power play. We have an option on this, and we deny the penalty. Cleared to the far side. Devils kill it off. Not much of a power play. Picked up by Wolanin. 17 shots each. Canadiens lead 3-2. Wolanin drops it into the middle. Muller was breaking. Lume was there. Lume off the boards. 2-5 for Richer. Driver sends it right back in. Nobody there. This will be an icing call on the Devils. And there's the whistle. With 4:44 left to go in the second.
The Montreal Canadiens so far in tonight's game came out skating very well. Pace has slowed down, and now it seems like they're trying to play more of a defensive style because they have, again, such a strong defensive team. And we have seen so many times in the National Hockey League, going into the third period, if you're ahead, you win the hockey game. I saw one statistic today. The Edmonton Oilers, one of the best teams in the National Hockey League, when they've gone into the third period ahead, they're 18-0-0. When they go to the third period down by a goal or more, they're 0-9-3. I mean, it's just amazing numbers.
Both these teams are consistent with that. Ryan Walter's shot is high and wide. Canadiens are not a team that's going to come struggling from behind anyway, with their goal scoring being as behind as it is this season. Held in by Ryan Walter. Fetisov jammed him. Driver behind the net gets knocked down. Puck freed up, though. Fetisov's got it. Devils down by a goal. They came back to tie it at 2-2. But then Canadiens got it back. Back to get it, Fetisov. Fetisov drops it off, intended for Muller. 4:14 remaining to go here in the second period. Up to Mark Johnson. Held in by Keane. Terreri's got it. This game does not have a lot of flow right now, and that's to the advantage of the Canadiens of the moment. Muller over to Turgeon. 3-on-3. Turgeon wrister saved by Hayward. Just held his ground on that one. Behind the net, poked around the boards for Keane. Keane hit by Mark Johnson. The 2 number 12s going at it. Keane slipped it off the side of his own net. Guy Carbonneau brings it out. Carbonneau gets stood up by Driver, and they're high sticking each other behind the play. Mark Johnson's got it. They break up. Johnson drops it to Turgeon. Lefebvre got his stick in on it to break up the pass. Devils had a 2-on-1 centering pass by Muller, intercepted. Brian Walter intercepted ahead to Richer. Richer with Carbonneau. Carbonneau poked away to Doug Brown. Canadiens changing. Off for Danico, over to Brown. Brown winding up, brings it in. Doug Brown by Carbonneau. Brown centered. Shot point just wide. Rebound rolled out in front. Tommy Abilene had the chance and just missed on Hayward.
Gary, Abilene's getting a lot of shots in the last few games. Last game against Pittsburgh, he had 7 shots. That was his 3rd shot here tonight, so he's just really offensively doing a lot of good things.
Maley got it in. Doug Brown was there, but it's tipped away by Desjardins. Mike McPhee can't get it. Abilene does. Abilene back down to Brown. Brown back into the middle of Turgeon, rather. Brook, knocked away. It is Brook. Cleared to center. Back comes Brian Skrudland. Skrudland drops it. Richer centers it. Backhand shot. Save Terreri. Rebound wide. McPhee the chance. Shot. Ludwig tipped. Held onto by Danico, and Danico gets it out. That's the way the Canadiens have played this game offensively. It's been in spurts where they picked up 3 shots on 1 offensive charge to the net. 2:27 left in the period. Maley, Danico, Skrudland up on the forecheck. Intended for Brown, got by him, and there'll be another icing call on the Devils, and that's because of that play by the Canadiens at center ice, and they lead it 3-2. Face off to the right of Chris Terreri making the start. Tomorrow night the Devils will be in Quebec. Sean Burke will be back in net for the Devils for that game, as had been planned, while Philadelphia will be going up to Montreal for Hockey Night in Canada against the Canadiens tomorrow night. Wolanin sends that in wide. John McLean chased it down. Patrick Sundstrom gets it. Devils trying to get this game tied up. Shanahan had it taken away, tried to center. In front, rolls in on Hayward and went right through the crease. Swoboda got it. Kasatonov intercepts. Back up to the point. John McLean jumps over his stick. Lane will send it in. Devils have to clear the zone. Peter Swoboda back. Devils have been that close to having maybe 4 or 5 goals in this game, with the puck's been bouncing around down low. Courtnall had it taken away Patrick Sundstrom. Courtnall gets it back, though. Shane Corson then runs into Lemieux. Sorry, we're both going the same way. Courtnall takes it wide. Rebound off the back of the net. John McLean will play it. 1:25 left to go, second period. During our second intermission, Mark Johnson will be joining Stan. The Devils magic. Patrick Sundstrom tried to go wide. Lost it. Ties up Naslund. Naslund was trying to break by him. Sundstrom tied him up. Patrick Sundstrom gets the puck back into the middle. McLean some room, drops it. The shot by Muller is blocked. Rebound Wolanin to Muller. Muller looking backhander, blocked again. Rebound loose. Muller can't find it. It comes wide. Played by Courtnall. Into the final minute of the period. Wolanin stepped up. There's a check. There's a whistle. Pile up. Hayward is down in the Canadiens' crease. Muller got pushed into him, and Brian Hayward was down on the ice wrong. Hogarth waited to see if he was going to get up. Didn't, so he blew the whistle.
Again, the Devils doing a good job of getting some chances here, but the Montreal Canadian defenseman, especially Ludwig, standing in front, blocking shots. He must block 5 or 6 shots a game.
Goaltender's got to love that.
It's funny, goaltenders play off that.
Yeah.
If they see Ludwig is standing, they know the puck isn't going to go through him, so they'll play a little bit more to their right and play only like 3 or 4 feet of net instead of 6 feet of net, because they know Ludwig is going to block the other 2 feet.
Makes it that much easier for him. 53 seconds left in the second period. We'll also bring you up to date on the other National Hockey League games, especially that Pittsburgh-Washington game in the Patrick division.
And surprisingly, here at the Meadowlands, the fans are not into this game because the Montreal Canadiens have just sort of slowed the pace down. Everyone is just sort of sitting and waiting for a very fast, wide-open game, but it hasn't been that way this period.
Driver dropped it off. Turgeon winding up, sends it in. Muller behind the net. Final minute here. Devils trying to get it tied in that final minute. Johnson away to Muller. Back to Johnson. 40 seconds left to go. Carbonneau with Johnson. Muller moves in. Puck just squirts out. And there's Ludwig again, and he drops it to center. Keane was there. Turgeon took it away. Keane barreled it ahead. Driver's got it. Driver, Muller. Muller tried to get it between the legs of Carbonneau. Couldn't do it. Picked up by Turgeon from Driver. Turgeon in around Keane. Dropped it into the middle. And it's banged by Desjardins off the glass. Fetisov had it taken away by Carbonneau. Carbonneau coming. Great pass wide side. Shane Corson. Corson looking. Corson back. Carbonneau alone. Shot blocked. Mark Johnson blocked it. They had a 3-on-2. 4 seconds left to go. Fetisov brings it ahead. Drops it off for Turgeon too wide, and that's going to do it here in the second period.
Corson giving Fetisov a little shot at the end of the period. But just one of those periods just to kind of go, eh.
Yeah.
You know, it was back and forth. Both teams got a goal, but it's just ended up the same way it started. Montreal ahead by 1.
And the Canadiens will take that as they'll have the lead going into the third. Second period scoring. Patrick Sundstrom from Driver and Shanahan on a power play goal at 4:30 tied it up 2-2, his 16th. Then Richer from Corson and Swoboda at 11:40. Richer's 24th, and the Canadiens went back on top. The shots, again, not very high in number. 10-9, Canadiens favor, 18-18 over 2. And we go to the second intermission with Montreal leading New Jersey 3-2. Stan will be back. Mark Johnson, his guest.
Wednesday, January 24th. The Washington Capitals come to town. The Washington Capitals right now just really struggling to get themselves turned around. They're losing to the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight 3-0. Friday, January 26th, Doug Carpenter brings Toronto Maple Leafs to town. And then Tuesday, February 6th, the Edmonton Oilers and Mark Messier are in town. And now down to Stan and Mark Johnson.
Thank you, Peter. I was just picking up on what you guys were saying, that this is such a suffocating Montreal team, Mark Johnson. And the thing that surprises me, they're getting away with it with some very young guys on defense, Lefebvre, Schneider, and they're still able to pull it off. How do they do it?
I guess it says something for tradition. There's a long history in, playing for Montreal. Obviously, the older players take it upon themselves to educate the younger players, and they seem to play the same system year in and year out, and they do it very effectively. And tonight, you're seeing a classic example of it. They're taking away the neutral ice completely away from us, and we're having a difficult time. Our only hope is really to get the puck in and get our first man on their defenseman as quickly as possible, or else we're going to have a tough time getting any type of offensive pressure.
Now, Mark, you guys must be aware, I assume you're aware, they're working with kids. Are you trying to exploit the Schneiders and the Lefebvres?
Obviously you're going to try and work on them. I mean, you'd rather come down on one of those players than maybe a Ludwig, and you certainly, it's nice to see Chelios not in the lineup. When you get on the ice, you certainly make yourself aware of those players and you try to work on them, but they're doing a real solid job. Their forwards are coming back and helping out a great deal, and that makes their job a little bit easier.
You're 1 point away from a milestone in your career. You feel, are you skating aware of that, or that doesn't come into mind?
Not at all. We're just, trying to play as consistent as we can. Things are going pretty well for a hockey club right now, and we just have to continue to press on and improve and continue to play good hockey.
Well, before the game, one of the words being spoken in the press room was that you're coming off a Patrick game. You guys have to watch out for a letdown. Now, does that happen with this hockey club?
It's happened in the past, and it's certainly happened a couple times to us this year already. You would like to think you'd learn from those experiences. John Cuniff, our coach, certainly made us aware of it yesterday at practice. He told us a great deal about Montreal and the type of system that they do play. Obviously, he's very familiar coaching in Boston for several years, so he made us aware of us, and then it's just up to the players to go out and respond and execute.
Well, you're only down by 1, and you have 20 minutes to go. Mark Johnson of the Devils. We'll have more right after this.
Games underway, Pittsburgh, Washington. It is now a 3-1 Pittsburgh lead over Washington. Pavonk has scored for the Capitals.
And Gary, the Detroit and Winnipeg game is now 2-2, Detroit and Winnipeg. And Winnipeg is now actually ahead of the Los Angeles Kings and in 3rd place in the Smythe division. So the Kings are struggling right at the moment.
Wow. St. Louis, Vancouver, the late game. Also should mention, if you missed it, Mario Lemieux in that Pittsburgh game has a goal and an assist. 33 consecutive games now that he has scored a point. Peter, Mike Johnson talking about the fact of this game being slowed down by the Canadiens. What do you do in a game like this if you're the Devils to try and pick the pace up?
Well, you wait for next game. No.
Oh, easy. All right, we'll be...
No. Actually, I was talking to some of the players before the game, and they did not want to get into this type of game against the Montreal Canadiens because the Devils are a very high-scoring, high-powered, very offensive team at this point in the season. They don't play a defensive game quite as well as Montreal does, but Montreal is not letting the Devils play their game. So what they have to do is exactly what Mark Johnson said. Get to center ice. Everyone know exactly what's going to happen. The player with the puck is not going to try and do anything fancy. He's not going to try and beat somebody. He's going to get it in, wrap it around the boards, or throw it cross ice, and have 2 and 3 players flooding the zone, trying to create a turnover deep in the Montreal zone.
You heard Mark Johnson mentioning how John Cuniff had talked about the Canadiens' style of play. How much of a difference and how much does it matter, that division style of play that we see in the Adams division as opposed to the Patrick division?
Well, I think the Patrick division and the Adams division are much similar. A lot of the teams have played a lot of hard-hitting, close-checking type of games, but in the Adams division, they seem to take it that one step further. I think in the Patrick division, you're more likely to see a 5-4 game as opposed to a 3-2 game in the Adams division, because the players do play a lot of very close-checking games, especially through the center ice zone. I don't think there's a division in hockey that plays so tight through the middle zone.
And they're doing it tonight. Remember, the last 4 times these teams have played, they've been 1-goal games, and that's what it's going to be when we start the third here tonight. Keane answered by Huscroft, 2-1 starting the second period. Devils would get it tied up. Patrick Sundstrom.
And Gary, both teams have had 1 power play, and the Devils score on their 1 opportunity. You see Sundstrom to Shanahan, Shanahan out to the point. Now here's where the controversy comes. The puck is shot by Driver, and where does Sundstrom hit it? It looked like he was on his way down and his stick was below his shoulder, but it was pretty close. The Montreal Canadiens did object, but the goal stood.
That is his 4th power play goal, 16th overall. Driver and Shanahan at 4:30. But Richer got that step we were talking about to give the Canadiens a lead.
It just seemed like the puck was just sitting there, and then all of a sudden Richer just comes flying through the zone. Watch how the stick comes and hits his foot right here. Again, most players that would have knocked him down. They would have lost balance. It doesn't knock Richer down. And the puck just goes through Terreri's legs, and you can see just makes it over the line. But that gave the Montreal Canadiens a 3-2 lead.
Stephane Richer's 24th. Corson and Swoboda got the assist at 11:40. So the Devils will have to try and come back in the third. They're trailing 3-2.
Tuesday, February 6th, the Devils will play Mark Messier and the Edmonton Oilers, and it will be Red Robin Pennant night. The first 15,000 fans attending the game will receive an 8x18 Devils pennant, compliments of Red Robin Restaurants.
Going into the third period, the New Jersey Devils, when they have been behind this season, have won 3 games, losing 12 and tying 1, and that's not bad. And for the Montreal Canadiens, tough team to beat because of the defense they play. Let's see what happens. I want to remind you, this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Devils, intended for the private non-commercial use of our audience, publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Devils and Sports Channel
Is prohibited.
Brooke ready to take the face-off.
Gary, just a quick update. Pittsburgh now leads Washington in the second period, 8-2.
8-2? That's a defensive Washington team?
That was the big trade by Pittsburgh, Tanti and Barry Peterson coming over. We saw that the Pittsburgh play that first night, and Tanti and Peterson got in at midnight and Newark Airport really weren't prepared to play, but I think that they are going to push Pittsburgh into a very strong position in the second half.
Fully agree. They are going to be a Smythe Division kind of team. They may even outscore the Smythe Division team before it's over. Tip to center. Kasatonov going back to get it. McPhee knocks it ahead into the Devils' end. Chris Terreri going back to get it. Terreri played it around to Kasatonov. Off to Brown, ahead to Brook. And Brook ships it in, intercepted by Keane. Keane will play it around the net. John McLean has not had a shot on goal in the first 2 periods of this game. Patrick Sundstrom's had only 1. Brendan Shanahan has had only 1.
And the reason we bring that up is last game, that line had 10 shots on goal, and Johnny McLean has a streak going. He's a shot on goal in every single game so far this season. You look at Johnny McLean, who picked up a 24th goal last game, the game-winning goal, now has 8 game-winning goals, tied for the lead in the National Hockey League with Cam Neely of the Boston Bruins. Johnny, 24 goals, 25 assists, 49 points. 4th in the league with shots with 174. So obviously when he doesn't have a shot on goal in the first 2 periods, they're doing a good job. Here you see the score, 5-2. Was I adding? Maybe I was adding them up. I must have been adding them up. I see. The score is 5-2. I was.
You did. You added them up. You can't add them. That's what matters. Patrick Sundstrom brings it in.
I just make up my old score. Detroit now is 14-12. St. Louis 9-3.
Back into the middle. The Canadiens out of their own end. Ryan Walter gets it ahead to Carbonneau. Guy Carbonneau. His shot blocked by Fetisov. John McLean gets it around Richer to Shanahan, who just bangs it out of the end, and it'll be chased bound by Swoboda. You win a while, it'll be 8-2.
Well, that trade isn't working out quite as well as I first thought.
Shanahan back for it, centered it. McLean looking to the middle, couldn't get it to Driver. Richer was there to intercept it. Richer, that hard shot blocked right through the crease. Played Carbonneau back to get it. Patrick Sundstrom. Sundstrom flips it ahead. John McLean out of the zone. Ryan Walter ties him up. Ryan Walter, one of the veterans on this team. Walter's 31 years old. He's 6 goals, 8 assists coming into tonight's game. There's Richer gunning it in on goal. Richer can shoot it from about anywhere on the ice, and it'll be on goal. He doesn't miss it much. That's Naslund. Naslund. Shot, save, Terreri. And he'll hang on, no rebound. Just underway, third period at the Meadowlands. Discussion in front. Lemieux, 32 of the Canadiens.
Claude Lemieux, maybe as disliked a player as I've ever seen in the National Hockey League. Right. It's absolutely amazing. Because again, he's one of those great big guys, 6'1", 220 pounds. He's a good hockey player. He really is. I mean, he has all kinds of skills. A good skater, good shot. He hits hard, but he dives, and he's always complaining to the referees, and he always gets himself into Pat Burns' bad books by taking silly penalties. But the players just, they don't mind him being, in the bad books.
Devils trying to clear it out. Evan Jett knocked to center by Danico. Intercepted by Lemieux and sent right back in wide of the net. Canadiens obviously territorially want that puck back in the Devils' end now, and they're going to shoot it in from center. Another save made by Terreri. Hard shot taken that time by Matthew Snyder. Out to center, intercepted by Courtnall. Back to Snyder. Snyder with Lefebvre. Cleared to center to Danico. Devils got to get onside, though. Danico off to Tommy Abilene. Abilene sends it in. Devils dumping, chasing Kirk Muller. Muller did not pin it up against the boards. Naslund was there to get it over to Lemieux. Lemieux with Courtnall, and they are offside. And, of course, in this kind of game right now, the whistles will probably also favor the Canadiens, the more of them that there are, to slow it down even more.
Russ Courtnall played most of this season and last year on the right wing. Last year with Naslund and Smith. But with Smith out of the lineup, he's been moved to center. And really hasn't scored the kind of goals and points the Montreal Canadiens were hoping for this season. 12 goals, 15 assists, 27 points. When he first came in the National Hockey League, the way he can skate, everyone was really predicting he was going to be much like Patty LaFontaine, that real high-scoring centerman.
Ron Hogarth just got hit. And he gets up. This has not been a good year for officials. There are 4 on the injured list right now with some serious injuries.
This has not been a good building.
No, this building has taken out at least 3. 2, and Hogarth getting hit here. Watch this. Ludwig.
He's just trying to get his hand up to protect his head. And one of the reasons that hurt so much, the Montreal Canadiens were doing a test to see who has the hardest shots. And Stéphane Richer had the hardest shot amongst the Montreal Canadiens, and Craig Ludwig had the second hardest shot. So that was an 85, 87 mile an hour slap shot he just caught with his bare hand.
Stays out there, tipped by Brook into the stands, and a souvenir right off the end of the stick. And another whistle. Watch this on Ron Hogarth. 18 seasons in the National Hockey League.
That's a reflex action.
Makes the call.
He lost sight of the puck, so you blow the whistle.
Wow. He is all right. 17-10 left to go here in the third. 41 years old. He's a third senior referee in the National Hockey League right now. Sent in wide by Ludwig. He gets it there in a hurry. Wolanin. Richer knocked him down. Puck comes outside the zone. But again, the Canadiens are still controlling this game. They're playing it the way they want it played. Kasatonov, Devils just not able to get it wound up here offensively. Kasatonov goes wide. That's the way it's been all night. Intercepted, sent right back the other way. No icing.
Yeah, that's one of the things the Devils are going to have to stop doing, is trying to make those cross-ice passes. They have to get to the center ice line and really just dump it in.
Poke checked away from Maley. Played by Doug Brown, but back into his own zone. Wolanin back to get it over to Brown. 3-2. Montreal leading. Series 1-1. This is the last time these teams will meet during the regular season this year. Maley couldn't control it. Ludwig knocked it right back to center. Here's a 3-on-3. LeBeau, Stephane LeBeau centered. Shot saved. Terreri. Shane Corson was right in front of Terreri on another tough shot. Svoboda dropped it back, but he didn't have a defenseman out there with him. Goes to the corner. Knocked away by Brook. Skrudlin takes it away. Skrudlin sends it around. Intercepted Turgeon. Shanahan. McLean intercepted. McLean gets it back. Centers it. Tipped away. Kasatonov shot over the head of Brian Hayward. Shanahan steps up. Poke checked away to Driver. Driver pass. Shanahan backs it up in the crease. Shanahan gets it again. Shanahan turning back to the point. Driver the shot. Blocked out deep. Kept in by Driver. Intercepted. Here's a 2-on-1. Sundstrom trying to get back. Skrudlin with Corson. Shane Corson. The wrister is blocked by Kasatonov. Took him on the skate. So the Canadiens in danger of giving one up. Almost got one themselves in the breakout. Both teams changing. Driver will dump it in.
And that's what you have to be afraid of when you're trying to force the offense. The other team getting a good quick break, but Sundstrom coming back to do a good job.
McPhee poked away by Patrick Sundstrom, held in. The shot deflected in front. McPhee, not quite. Fetisov got it. Fetisov hooked from behind. Puck taken away. Skrudlin, what a game he's played here tonight. What a difference he makes when he's on the ice.
He's a terrific skater. He's a very smooth, natural skater. It doesn't look like he has any effort at all to glide up and down the ice.
Brian Skrudlin wearing 39, playing his 25th game. He one of the many who's been out on that injured list at one part of this season. Skrudlin dumps it away to center. Taken by Tommy Abilene. 14:36 to go, third period. Canadiens up 3-2. Fetisov shot. Hayward makes the save on it. Carbonneau just bangs it off the boards. Back to get it, Tommy Abilene. Shots are 22-20 in favor of the Canadiens. Off Muller. Muller looking. Muller, the wrister, blocked wide. That one went off a skate. Ryan Walter got a piece of that one. Back comes Carbonneau the other way. Carbonneau, great drop pass. Shane Corson. Shot saved Terreri. Carbonneau for the rebound. Taken away by Turgeon. Turgeon will bring it out. Muller. Headmanning. Turgeon. Muller. The shot blocked out deep. Matthew Snyder. Snyder controlled the puck after he blocked it. Nice play. Corson up. Corson into the zone to Carbonneau. Guy Carbonneau, the captain. Tried to go between the legs. Comes right back to him. Sends it in deeper. And again, the Canadiens buzzing. Intercepted by Tommy Abilene. Now you got a lot of guys just standing around on the ice for both teams, not moving, watching the play. This will be an icing call on the Devils. And we've got 13:34 left here with the Canadiens up by a goal. Carbonneau on this opportunity.
Guy Carbonneau showing some good offense right here. Getting the puck across, but he also takes a good hard hit. That's the old story right there. Take a check to make a play.
Get right back up and go after the puck. Ross Courtnall on the faceoff against Patrick Sundstrom. Canadiens leading it by a score of 3-2. And Sundstrom will win the faceoff to Kasatonov. Skrudland and Keane in the first period. Richer the last goal, the 3 for Montreal. In between Huscroft and Sundstrom scoring for the Devils. We've had 2 penalties in this game. The Devils do have a power play goal. Penalty for each team. Shanahan holding, tried to center, got it in front, rolled in. McLean tried to jam it. Couldn't do it. Kasatonov holds it in. Canadiens playing right on the Devils, man for man. Desjardins around Wolanin and Lemieux. Here's a fiery 2-on-1. Courtnall coming. Courtnall looking. Shot save. Terreri. He blistered that. He had Naslund on the near wing side. Shot by Desjardins is wide. Montreal just getting it in as quickly as they can to that offensive zone. Ludwig's pass, they let it go. This will be an icing call. Devils will take this one, and we'll be back to the Meadowlands for the final 12:40.
Canadian bench. Again, so well disciplined. They know exactly what they want to do. And the Devils right now have to get that puck deep in the zone and start putting some pressure on the young defensemen, because they're just not used to being out there, because Chelios and Ludwig usually get most of the ice time, and Chelios isn't out there tonight.
Peter Svoboda. Canadiens winning the draw on their own end. The fans, over 19,000, trying to get the Devils fired up. Corson into the middle of Svoboda, ridden out of the play by Driver. Behind the net, Corson centered. Look out! Shot wide by Stefan Lebeau. The 21-year-old had the chance. Svoboda holds it in. There's Richer tied up by Brown. Brook after the puck with Corson. Brook, Corson, Brown. Freed up to Maley. David Maley had it blocked. Held into the zone by Ludwig, or by Lebeau. Out to Svoboda. Svoboda bangs it, blocked by Brown, taken back by Lebeau. Lebeau just drops it back into the zone. The Canadiens, you can see how they dominate the game here. When they get the puck down offensively, they charge the net. When they need to back it up, they do. Here comes Richer again. Richer, Fetisov, shot, save Terreri. Poked away by Terreri and played by Bob Brook. Brook out the center to Maley. David Maley in. Maley waiting, looking, winds up, shot blocked out deep. That one hit, I believe, Doug Brown's skate, as Brown was coming through the middle. Richer wide. That one was deflected out deep. 11:30 left to go. Plenty of time. One goal game again. Tommy Abilene. Abilene up. Mark Johnson tips it ahead, but the Canadiens control. They are everywhere. Tommy Abilene didn't get it. Here comes McPhee. McPhee shot, save, Terreri kicked it out, right leg. Tommy Abilene not out. Mike Keane holds it in. Now the Canadiens start to buzz off the dasher. Mike Keane shot, blocked, rebound. In front, McPhee got tied up by Danico. Kenny Danico reached around on him. Here comes Muller. Podubny. Podubny with 3 Canadiens back. He had nowhere to go. Up to the point, Tommy Abilene can't hold it in. Podubny kicks it in. Devils were offside. They'll change up.
Gary, right now, again, the Devils trying to force some things offensively, giving Montreal a few offensive chances. This is where Terreri really has to be sharp. He knows he can't allow this game to become 4-2.
John McLean sends that one in. Chased down by Desjardins and Sundstrom. Shanahan behind the net. Sundstrom had it come free. Knocked away now by Guy Carbonneau to the near side. Desjardins got it up to Ryan Walter, and Walter gets it out of the zone. Chased down by Wolanin. Devils are 9-8 in one-goal games this season. The Canadiens are 8-8. Carbonneau back into the middle. Ryan Walter shot through. Corson. Kasatonov took it away. Patrick Sundstrom up to Shanahan. Shanahan, and again trouble at center. Shane Corson. That pass at center is not going to work, as Peter said. Carbonneau shot blocked by Terreri out the center. The Devils are insisting on that center ice pass, allowing the Canadiens to intercept it. John McLean. Corson. Shane Corson's got it, pushes it off the boards. Mark Johnson. Carbonneau. Finally Shanahan gets it, drops it back. Kasatonov. Nobody on that pass, intercepted by Ludwig. Right back into the Devils' end. Down to 9:28 to go. Mark Johnson let it go. Intercepted again. Canadiens are owning center ice right now. Lume dropped it out through center. Now they'll wind it up again. Dump. Driver. Driver. Muller. Muller ahead. Turgeon. Turgeon with Svoboda with him. Poke checked away. Turgeon turning. Courtnall on him. Shot wide. And nobody on the near side point to hold it in.
The defensemen were just changing. That's why Fetisov wasn't able to get in there and hold that puck in.
Muller sends it around the dasher. Blocked by Brian Hayward. Brian Hayward looking for the victory against the Devils. Lifetime, he's 8-5 against New Jersey. Shanahan, Turgeon rather, trying to get it in front, intercepted Courtnall. And Fetisov couldn't hold it in. It was banged out to center. Canadiens getting it done. Naslund up on the forecheck now, and Fetisov over to Driver. Driver starts up, tried to send it in. Courtnall intercepts again at center. Naslund the shot, saved Terreri. Fetisov, it's like a wall out there at center ice on any Devils pass. Muller's got it. Muller's got a man on the far wing. Bruce Driver didn't see him. Driver sends it in for Muller. Driver had snuck up. There he is right there. He was in the middle. There was nobody on him. Luma's got it. Luma finds some room in the middle. Starts up ice. Jerke Luma. Canadiens changing up. Fans disapproving here, but it's the Canadiens play that's getting the job done. Ahead to Bob Brook. 8:07 to go in the game. Brook in. Brook shot wide. Again, the Devils were changing. Danico at center. Canadiens up 3-2. No scoring in the third. Brown In on goal. Hayward the save over to Brook. Brook backing it up. Ojanen. Yanni Ojanen. Ojanen looking for Brown. Tried to get it to him. Right there. Lefebvre. Sylvain Lefebvre just picked that one off. Here comes Richer. Richer 3-on-3. Off to Corson. Shane Corson. The room. The shot. Save Terreri. Sends it in front. Tipped wide. Cage comes loose. Richer tripped in behind the net. He is all right. 3-2 Montreal. It's out shooting the Devils 30-21. The Montreal Canadiens are already over their average shots on goal. The average 29. Give up only 28. The Devils have only 21. Patrick Sundstrom waiting. Stefan Lebeau moves in. 20-year-old. Quebec Junior Major Hockey. Picked up by Casatonov to McLean. McLean in. Playing the move. There's the cover up by Snyder. Shanahan tried to shoot it. Couldn't do it. Snyder over to get it. And that'll end up in the Canadiens bench.
There are two things that Montreal Canadiens do differently than most teams in the National Hockey League. One, when the puck comes through the center ice area, it's usually, if it's coming down the middle, the center ice will go with the puck. If it's coming down the right boards, the left winger will go after the puck. For the Montreal Canadiens system, they just go right after the puck. 2, 3 forwards at a time will just force you to make a real good play to get by all of them. They don't seem to care where the puck is. They're always having 2 and 3 checkers on the puck. And the other thing is down low in their zone, they don't stay on the point man at all. They have those 2 forwards that are usually out the point, come right down and help out to make it actually a 5-on-3 defensively down low.
Part of the Montreal Canadiens systems, and they've always had the speed to be able to do those sorts of things and not get burned. And they still have it. Well, these young legs that are out there right now. You saw Snyder make an outstanding play down low last time, covering up his other defenseman as he just came all the way across the ice when he saw the loose puck. Didn't hesitate to do it. Desjardins trying to tie it up. Shanahan tipped it to Wolanin. Wolanin got it by Keane, intercepted by Skrudland. Shot it right into Keane. Held in by Wolanin. McLean, Sundstrom, back to McLean. Behind the net, Ludwig back to get it. Ludwig up, Casatonov there. Fanned on it. McPhee pulled down, and there's a penalty. That hurts. McPhee was on his way. It's a hooking call, and the Canadiens will have a power play. Here's one the Devils just have to kill off, and the Canadiens leading at 3-2. Casatonov goes in on the hooking call. That's his first National Hockey League penalty minute.
He came pulling down a man. I think McPhee and the far side Montreal Canadian player were going to have a 2-on-1. The puck stays in the zone on the right side. The Canadiens had a player breaking up. That would have been a clear 2-on-1.
So Montreal 0 for 1 on the power play tonight, gets their second chance and an opportunity to all but put this game away if they can get a power play goal right here. Fetisov lost it. Courtnall's got it. They get it set up. Playing the point, Lume. Swoboda. Down low to Courtnall. Couldn't get it. Big guy Lemieux. Lemieux pushing it up on the boards. Lost it momentarily to Fetisov. Dumps it back out in front to Driver. Driver will lug it. Devils want to do something shorthanded if they can. Went over Brooks' head. Lume was back there to get it. Plays it ahead to Courtnall. Devils try and kill it off. A Canadiens team that has only 24 power play goals all season. They are last in the National Hockey League in that department. Lume dropped it off. Swoboda back over to Lemieux, and there's an offside. A minute left on the power play. 5:55 left in the game.
Claude Lemieux, 41 games he missed. He played the first game, then he injured his abdominal wall, hit a 3-inch tear in the abdominal wall, had to have it sewn up. Talk about a conflict of emotions. The day he was activated, the Montreal Canadiens traded his brother, Jocelyn, to the Chicago Blackhawks. And the reason was that they now had another right winger back in the lineup. They had some spare parts. They traded him to Chicago Blackhawks.
Ow.
His mom really gave it to him.
I bet. Tommy Abilene sends it out. Devils shorthanded. Snyder back to get it. Snyder and Lefebvre working the power play points. Lefebvre gets it off to Carboneau. Carboneau drops it back. They have Richer out on the ice now. Corson back to the point. Snyder intercepted. Tommy Abilene up. McLean gets it out. Canadiens have had 4 shorthanded goals scored against them this season, while the New Jersey Devils have scored 4 shorthanded goals and could use one right here. Richer tried to pull it around. Danico tipped it away. Corson got it to Carbonneau. Carbonneau to Richer. 20 seconds on the power play to the point. Lefebvre the shot. Tipped in front. Wide. Score! Power play goal. Guy Carbonneau. And the Canadiens lead 4-2.
Big goal by the Montreal Canadiens. Obviously, good shot from the point. Carbonneau able to pick up the rebound. But something the Canadiens have not been doing is making good things happen on the power play. Here the shot is blocked by Danico. Carbonneau just gets his stick on it. So actually the Montreal Canadiens got a bit of a break. This puck hits Danico's stick, slows down just enough to make Terreri move almost too quickly past the puck right to Carbonneau, who's able to put it in.
Carbonneau's first power play goal of the season. And the Canadiens, for the second time in this game, lead by 2 goals. More importantly, they lead by 2 goals with 5 minutes and 10 seconds left to go. Just their 25th power play goal of the year. They're second against the Devils. They're 2 for 11 against the Devils in the 3 games. Dropped off for Mark Johnson. Tipped to the corner. Now the Canadiens, it's all defense. Wolanin tried to hold it in. Casatonov covers. And the Devils now got to pull them all out. They've got to try, rush that puck, send everybody down low and make it happen here to try and get back into it. Carbonneau from Lefebvre and Richer at 14:50. The only goal here in the 3rd thus far, giving them the 4-2 lead. Muller brought it in, taken away by Ludwig, and he sends it out. This will be an icing call on Montreal, touched up by Wolanin. We'll be right back. Hard work giving him the goal, and a very important goal for the Canadiens after their 23rd win. They've only got 4:28 now to run off on that clock. See if the Devils can mount a magnificent comeback here. Down by 2. Cleared around and out, and another icing call. Devils will take these. It gives them those face-offs in the Canadiens' end and stops the clock.
And it is just an enormous difference between a 1-goal lead and a 2-goal lead, because a bad break is not going to beat you. The other team has to completely open things up. The Devils, if they're only down by 1 goal, aren't really going to be having the defenseman pinched down quite as much as they have to right now. It just gives the team with the 2-goal lead so much breathing room, so much extra ability to win the game.
See how these Canadiens have that best defense in the National Hockey League. It's the way they've played it here tonight, trying to take the series, which currently is tied at a game apiece. Into the zone, Desjardins. Turgeon tried to get it, couldn't. Canadiens get it out to Shane Corson. Corson just feathers it down the boards. Casatonov will go back to get it. Behind the net, Wolanin. Lifetime, Devils are 8-14-1 against Montreal. 5-6 here at the Meadowlands. Ends up again in the Canadiens bench. Face off at center. Lou Lamoriello, the GM of the New Jersey Devils, just back from the GM meetings in Florida.
Of course, when all the general managers get together, so many people think there's going to be a lot of trades developing. But I think what happens is they put out players that might be available, and then they end up talking to a lot of different people. Then they come back and they'll talk to their coaches and other people before they finally make a decision. So there may be a lot of trades right now on the table, but nothing has been really done while they were down there.
It's rumor time, no question about that. Brooks sends it in. Round the net. Touched up for an icing on the Devils this time. And the faceoff will be back in the Devils' end. Lume, the rookie, got back to touch that one up. 3:32. It's been a Montreal game. The Devils trail 2-0 in the first, tied at 2-2. Canadiens 3-2, now a 4-2 lead.
Gary, you can just see how the Canadiens have really put the clamps on the Devils. Even skating back after an icing, the Devils seem to be tired. The Montreal Canadiens don't appear as though they're playing a very physical game, but they follow through in all their checks. They get that stick on you, don't let you by. So by the end of the game, you're very tired.
Naslund on the shot off the draw, missed it wide. Back in front, tipped wide by Courtnall, taken by Driver. Turning on Lemieux, keeps the heat on. Over to Fetisov, back over to Driver. 3:15 left to go. There's again the Devils' inability to connect on that pass with a poor-checking game of the Montreal. Lume in his own end over to Peter Svoboda. Yanni Oyanen moves up. Naslund trying to kick it out. Got it to Courtnall. Knocked away Podubny. Courtnall just poked at it and freed it up. Uma's pass intercepted Driver. Fetisov out. Podubny. Podubny against the board sends it in. Walt Podubny. Devils had hoped to get some scoring out of him, but if he doesn't get one this game, it's going to be 4 in a row where Walt Podubny has not had a point for the New Jersey Devils. And they really do want to get some scoring out of him. He did pick one up. Take that back. He did get an assist on that first goal, so he's got an assist in the last 4 games.
And one of the ways they're trying to work him into the offense a little more is have him at center. I think that's his most natural position where he's going to score the most.
Held in, Canadiens in their own zone. Skrudland intercepted, held in by John McLean. Brendan Shanahan, Sundstrom shot blocked by Skrudland. This line has been effectively shut down tonight by this Montreal team. Danico pinched it away to McLean, sends it in, and again intercepted before he ever got in on goal. Lefebvre put the stick out up to McPhee, and McPhee touches down into the Devils' end. Canadiens will change a minute 53 to go. Tommy Abilene on the shot up ice against the boards. Battle for it as Keane getting wrapped hard by Abilene. Tommy Abilene had to go around him. Shanahan steps up. Shanahan dropped it into the middle of Danico. Danico up to McLean. John McLean flips it in. Shanahan coming to the corner. Snyder reached around him. McLean back for Shanahan, too far in front. There seem to be 2 Montreal Canadiens to every 1 Devil where the puck is. Against the boards, Ryan Walter, a little mugging job on Fetisov. Behind the Canadiens net, Snyder to Richer. Richer got it back into the middle of Carbonneau. Carbonneau dropped it offside Richer. We'll be back with a minute 8 left.
Example of some of the things that are happening to the Devils tonight as a puck is shot into the zone. And just to see all the Montreal players are right on the screen right now. All 5 players in one area in the screen. They don't try and play so much zones as they do the puck. They have all 5 players right in that one area around the puck, so it makes it very difficult for one player to do anything with the puck.
Look at that. You got 4 of them right there.
And look, see how down low. That's the winger right there that normally would be out on Danico. You see he's right down inside the hash marks. Again, you can't get too much done offensively down there. That's why if you're going to beat the Montreal Canadiens, as Calgary did last year for the Stanley Cup, you have to have a player like Al McGinnis, a defenseman, have a sensational series.
1 minute left to go in the game. Canadiens leading it 4-2. Driver will chase it down. Up to Fetisov. Off to Mark Johnson. Mark Johnson sends it in. Hayward's going to get the victory in net. Another strong performance for Brian Hayward. He's going to go 9-9-4. McLean and immediately got tied up, pushed to center by Richer. Driver giving chase, 37 seconds. Empty net for the Devils. They pulled the goaltender. Carbonneau sends it in. Chased down by Driver, and it's a 2-goal difference here. Mark Johnson off for Muller. Intercepted, sent out to center to Richer. Sees the empty net, shoots it into it, and that's the game. Stephane Richer, an empty net goal. He's got 2 on the night. 25 on the season, and Canadiens lead the Devils 5-2.
Goal scorer like Richer just turns around and sees an empty net. His eyes just get huge. Second goal of the night. He also has an assist, a 3-point night for Richer. And yet I felt the Devils did a pretty good job of containing Richer. He didn't really take control of the game. Still 2 goals and an assist.
Stephane Richer all smiles as he heads back to the bench. And for Richer this season now, that'll be 3 goals and 3 assists in 3 games against the Devils. And the Canadiens lead it 5-2. Devils 5-game homestand, concluding here tonight. They'll be in Quebec tomorrow. So they will end up with 3 wins and 2 losses in the homestand. Richer from Desjardins on the empty netter at 19:39. Final 9 seconds of the game, wide of Brian Hayward. Brook trying to pin it up, and 2-1 shot save, and that's it. Montreal takes the season series 2-1. Winning both games here at the Meadowlands, this one 5-2.
Tough loss for the Devils. Well played game by the Montreal Canadiens. But the Devils would really hope to capitalize on this 5-game homestand, and 7 games out of the last 8 have been here at home. They end up losing this game, and they go into Quebec tomorrow night. Quebec, obviously, not playing well this season, but they still have Sakic and Peter Stastny and Lafleur, so they can be dangerous if the Devils aren't ready for that game tomorrow.
Montreal came in with a 3rd best winning percentage in the league in games played outside the division. They're going to improve on that here tonight. 3 stars for tonight's game. Bruce Driver of the Devils picks up the 3rd star tonight on defense. The 2nd star, also from the Devils, will be Patrick Sundstrom. Another solid game for Sundstrom, who picked up his 16th goal. But the 1st star tonight, Monsieur Richer, against the empty netter. Couple of goals, 3-point night.
I don't know who picked those stars, but the Devils having 2 out of 3 stars.
Yeah. Carbonneau, 1450. Richer, the empty netter, at 1939. The shots on goal ended up in favor of the Canadiens in the period by a wide margin. Look at the defense they played against the Devils. The final score, Montreal 5 and New Jersey 2. Back to the Meadowlands in just a minute. Dominating this game as they beat the Devils by a score of 5-2 and playing the game exactly the way they wanted. And for the Montreal Canadiens, who started the night in 3rd place in the Adams division, they now have 51 points. So it's Boston with 55, Buffalo with 52, and the Montreal Canadiens with 51.
That is going to be a very interesting division. Obviously, Boston right now, #1 team in the National Hockey League. Buffalo struggling. They've lost 6 in a row. And Montreal trying to stay in the race until they get Roy, Chelios, and Smith and their whole team healthy.
They're doing more than staying in the race. Every time I look at it, the Montreal Canadiens, and see them play this kind of a game, realizing all that they've gone through, they already have more games lost to man injuries this season than they did all of last year. I mean, it's up to like 187 games that have been lost to injuries this season for the Canadiens. Yet they bring out these guys, 20, 21, 22 years old, game after game, have the 6th best record in the National Hockey League. How much does that Montreal tradition play in being able to do that?
Well, I think it plays a great part in all of it. We heard Mark Johnson talk about it, and one of the things that they always do, it's the importance of having your own minor league team. It's like the Devils have their minor league team in Utica, and they have Tommy McVie, who knows what the Devils want when they're sending a player up, calling a player up from the minor leagues. They know what style to be playing. The Montreal Canadiens play that excellent defensive style. It's the first thing they teach these young players. They have a tendency to draft very high-scoring players and then send them down there to the minor leagues to learn how to play defense, and they have to do it or they don't get a call up.
John Cuniff has said this season publicly, this isn't anything that's been behind closed doors, one of the things he's concerned about with the Devils is that they don't seem to want to listen to him sometimes about how you play the game as a team, and would prefer in some cases to play the game as individuals. And I think tonight's one of those nights where he was telling them to get that puck into the zone and dump it, but guys tried to create things going through center ice.
Well, I think we saw just in the shots on goal, the puck would come up to the Devils' blue line. They would try to make that cross-ice pass through a whole pack of Montreal Canadian players. They would intercept it and have a quick 2-on-1 break, or at least a quick shot on goal. The Devils were never able to create any 1, 2, 3 shifts in a row where the puck was down low. They would exhaust some of those young defensemen, or at least get them running around a little bit. The Montreal Canadiens looked in control the entire period.
Stan, you're down there by the locker room, pretty quiet by the Devils locker room right now, I would expect.
Well, there was some noise, Gary, but it's nothing that we could put on television. It was expletives deleted. They were very unhappy with themselves. But I think a very important point is on the cover of the Canadiens yearbook is Coach Pat Burns, the coach of the year last year. This was a very disciplined Montreal team, and I think it was evidence from the beginning of the game to the end, and the coach deserves a lot of credit. Gary?
All right, we will be back to the Meadowlands. This one for the Canadiens. They won it 5-2. And as part of this Canadian win here at the Meadowlands tonight, our Budweiser play of the game.
Gary, our Budweiser play of the game. Half of the score was 2-2. The Devils doing a good job of stopping Stéphane Richer, but like any good player in the National Hockey League, or even the great players in the National Hockey League, you give them one little opening, as the Devils gave Richer right here, and he's going to burn you as he puts the puck just in behind Chris Terreri. using speed and strength. A great combination. And that's our Budweiser play of the game. Stephane Richet's 24th goal of the season.
Okay, and the New Jersey Devils have concluded that 5-game homestand. They end up going 3-2. They really would like to have had one more win in it.
And I think they felt they were going to win tonight's game. The Montreal Canadiens were hurting a little bit. They had all the young defensemen, and the fact that they'd come off such a strong game against Pittsburgh. They had held Mario Lemieux down. They had done just about everything they wanted in that game. They had a day off yesterday. They were well prepared for Montreal, but Montreal just completely shut them down the whole game.
Canadiens get the win. Our final score, Montreal 5 and the Devils 2. Remember, tomorrow night, 7:30. Pat LaFontaine and the New York Islanders take on the Washington Capitals at the Nassau Coliseum. The New Jersey Devils will return to Sports Channel following the All-Star break when they'll host the Washington Capitals on Wednesday, January 24 at 7:45. Stay tuned now for all the latest scores and highlights coming up on Sports Nightly. Opportunity to bring you up to date as to what's going on in those other National Hockey League games. And tonight at 11 o'clock, Brendan Shanahan will be on Power Stick Hockey. He'll be hosting some of the great shots of the season. Won't want to miss that one. Number 11 of the Devils tonight on Power Stick Hockey at 11 o'clock. For Stan Fischler and Peter McNabb, this is Gary Thorne. Thank you for joining us and for watching Devils Hockey on Sports Channel.